क्या कह रहा है?
मैं देख रहा हूँ क्या?
यस।
लेट्स गो। और भाई माज मैंने पढ़ा नहीं। माज वैसे है किधर इंटरव्यू, ये भी बताइए क्या?
मत बताइए, मत नजर लगा देगा ये।
क्या?
नजर लगा देगा।
वही
बताइए।
बर्निंग को बता देता हूँ पहले तो। अरे बर्निंग की तो नहीं लग रही, माज की लग गई जॉब।
ठीक है भाई, माउस तो पहले से खाली बैठे हैं, बहुत मुश्किल लगेगी फिर।
ओ
पास की लग गई।
अभी तो नहीं आ रहा इसलिए।
अभी तो था वही ना, नल्ले पाओ उसको कोई
अरे
भाव नहीं दे रहा था तो कभी ना कभी तो जाएगा ही।
वो बोलते भाई आखिर कि मेरा गेम तुम लोग खेलते नहीं जो मैं गेम खेलता हूँ।
जेंशिन इम्पैक्ट
नहीं भाई,
खेलता रहा हूँ मैं जेंशिन इम्पैक्ट।
होराइजन जीरो डॉन भी खेलता है आजकल।
हाँ
हम भी
मल्टीप्लेयर
वही
तो है
चले
वो।
गए।
आजा होराइजन खेलते हैं हमारे साथ में।
लेगो फोर्टनाइट खेलते वो, अभी क्या बोलूं मैं। उसमें लेगो फोर्टनाइट खेले उनके साथ।
अरे लेगो फोर्टनाइट भी तो
रश
सिंगल प्लेयर ही
खेलने
है।
रश खेलने में दिक्कत है, उसमें दिक्कत है, डोटा खेलने में अभी क्या करें हम।
मैं आता हूँ वॉइस चैट में डायरेक्ट तो कॉलोनिस्ट ऑन कर लेता है कि मैं घुस जाऊंगा उसके साथ।
तो मैं अच्छा,
आ,
तभी मैं देखो कि मासूम अकेले अकेले कॉलोनिस्ट क्यों खेल रहा था।
आज चलाते हो भाई तुम लोग भाई, होली
अरे गाइस
शिट।
कॉलोनिस्ट खेलना है क्या? इसी बात में
ये
लगा
तो
था।
नहीं
स्ट्रीम चालू कर रही है।
क्या?
स्ट्रीम चालू कर दिया बेटर ने यूट्यूब पे।
तो खेलेंगे ना स्ट्रीम पे।
स्ट्रीम
भाई
पे गेंशिन का स्ट्रीम है भाई मेरे।
नहीं खेलना भाई कोलोनिस्ट।
कितना
फ्रॉस्टे
अच्छा
के साथ
लगा रहा
खेलो
है।
भाई कोलोनिस्ट।
खाली एरिया। फ्रॉस्टी तो आते ही नहीं भाई, 2 हफ्ते हो गए अब।
हाँ यार मैसेज डालना पड़ेगा। वो
अरे
भी
वो तो
बदल
घूमने
गया
गए
है।
थे सेठ, वो
अरे
घूमने गए थे।
हाँ मैं भी तो भूल
हाँ,
गया।
घूमने गए थे वो तो।
वो तो 14 नहीं कब। हाँ 14 या तू जब आया ना तब वो गया है। उसने बताया भी था मुझे।
हम्म।
क्या करने वाला था मैं? हाँ रेजिन। यस।
ओह,
ये खोल दो पहले लंबर पिक वैली। भाई ये किधर है? हट।
अंडरग्राउंड है ब्रो।
ये
क्या चाहिए तेरे
वो ऊपर का जो टीपी मैंने मार्क किया है ना, वो
को?
खोलना है।
खोलना। लड़ाई करनी पड़ेगी ब्रो।
भाई यहाँ पे कुछ है।
वो तो ये काफी बड़ा एक्चुअली है। कुछ तो है, बहुत सारा करना पड़ता है तब जाके होता है, एक से नहीं होता।
ये खड़े रहने वाला नहीं है क्या?
इसके ऊपर कुछ रखने वाला है ये। एक
हो
ही
गया ना
हो
वो?
गया। एक हुआ ना, नहीं वही वो तो बोल रहा हूँ, मल्टीपल है वो। कुछ तो है इसका सीन। देख सामने जा, सामने जाके, ठीक है ठीक है, सामने एक वो था ना बड़ा सा पत्थर और येलो कलर का, उसके जस्ट सामने। जी, कहाँ जा रहा है भाई, कहाँ जाता है, कहाँ जाता है? ऊपर आ, कैमरा को ऊपर घुमा के देखता ही नहीं है तू तो। जा उस पत्थर पे जा जहाँ पे प्रेशर प्लेट, वापस जा, दिख गया?
नहीं नहीं दिखा।
वो जो हवा में उड़ने वाले हैं, वो वही करना है।
अच्छा वो खुले हैं ना, हट हट। हमारे यार क्या यार, कुछ नहीं
अरे
दिखता हमारे यार। ठीक है, ये जेडाइट चमक क्यों रहा है भाई ऐसे?
तेरे नैना, तेरे नैना, तेरे नैना, तेरे नैना।
इसको
सब
मार,
हो रहा
इसको
है।
जियो से मार, इसको जियो से मार।
उड़ के चला तो नहीं जाएगा लेके मेरे को साथ में?
अरे उसके ऊपर जाके जियो कर, कुछ तो था
ऊपर
यार, मैं
ऊपर
भूल
तो
गया।
कुछ हुआ है। अरे अरे,
हाँ, ये रेजोनेट कराना होता है बड़ा
ये
सा।
कहाँ से आ गया? 1 HP ट्रेजर होल्डर। ये टेक नोट खोलना है मेरे को।
उसमें लिखा होगा एक्चुअली।
लेट द ब्लड बी ऑन योर हेड।
कुछ तो रहता है यार इसका, भूल गया मैं। लेट इट बी, वो लेट इट बी। वो ओरिजिनल वाला वो होता है। आई
बाद में
बिलीव होगा
देखेंगे।
सबको एक एक बार रेजोनेट कराना।
अच्छा आधे किधर तक नहीं पहुंच रहा है जैसे।
उसको जियो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लगा।
चले, तो तब तक आ जाएगा शायद।
जियो ट्रैप उधर
हाँ
से लगेगा।
हाँ, गलत खोल दिया ना। छोड़ भाई हट। आगे भी एक टीपी है, ऊपर भी एक टीपी है, दोनों
बीत
खोल देते हैं।
गई शर्मगा बंदे जी।
हट। ये वो चेस्ट किधर गई हमारे? आह, हाँ, scammed me out of a chest bro। भाई मैं जियो वाले सारे वो भूल। 1000।
मकमल जे दिन होंदे सी शक्कर
कॉपीराइट आ
दिया
जाएगा, कॉपीराइट आ
बाता
जाएगा, रहने
सी
दे, रहने दे, रहने दे।
खुशबू दिया दड़िया ओ दो सजना दिया बाता सी।
किसके वो निकालूं देख। मैं सोच रहा हूँ किसी और के निकालता हूँ। तो उसको तो वैसे भी ग्लैडिएटर देना है,
कुर्सी।
तो उसका ग्लैडिएटर तो निकलता ही रहेगा, समझ रहा है?
अभी छुट्टी है 31 के बाद।
तो क्या चाहता है, क्या करता, क्या करना क्या चाहता है तू?
वही पूछ रहा हूँ मैं, किस
नाविया
क्या
है ना,
अटैक
नाविया के
करना है?
निकाल लेना।
नाविया को अभी बढ़ाना पड़ेगा।
हाँ तो तब तक
उम्र
रेजिन तो लगा देना
बीत
उसको, कोई नहीं।
गई आज मैं मंदे।
हाँ तो उसको अपग्रेड करने में लगा दे रेजिन।
अपग्रेड?
यस।
ये क्या तो
असेंड
पिंग
करने
आती
में
है।
भाई, असेंड करने में।
क्या तो पिंग आती है मुझे।
मेरे को तो सही आ रही है।
ये तो अच्छा हुआ इस सोलो गेम है, इसलिए कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा, वरना रस्ट वाला ही फील आता है इसमें भी। मेरी आवाज़ बराबर आ रही है क्या?
बराबर आ रही है।
रियली माय फ्रेंड, आजा। अब आलू पड़ा था। ये देख यहाँ पे भी है कुछ जियो का, कुछ ना कुछ तो खेल।
देख बात है कि कैज़ में मैं भी पूरा एक्सप्लोर नहीं किया, जो तू बड़ा वाला कर रहा था वो तो किया हूँ मैं।
चल बे।
वो कुछ जियो का उससे ही होगा, वो रेजिडेंट करके
ए
होगा आगे जाके।
यार
वो देख तोड़ उसको, जियो वाले को कुछ तो। हाँ इस पे ही वो करना।
ओके। ये जोंगली ने क्या क्या छुपा रखा है किधर किधर।
कांड करके सब कुछ छुपा देते हैं भाई।
वाह।
Brings a smile to my face.
फिर वो अपने आप को बोलता है मैं गॉड ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स हूँ, मैं बता नहीं सकता।
डीएनडी साइन किया है।
एनडीए साइन किया सर।
अरे यार डीएनडी
डीएनडी
बोलता
बोलता है
हूँ।
साले।
छी छी
उम्र बीत गई, दिल भर
छी
में
छी
बन
ऑन
गई,
स्ट्रीम बेइज्जती।
अभी तक ना घर चो निकले,
भाई तू
जुल्फा
कॉपीराइट
दे
दिलवा के मानेगा मुझे।
तेरी,
तेरे कौन से व्यूअर्स हैं ब्रो?
मन
ट्रू
ले
भाई
दिल
ट्रू। रुक जा अभी खुद की
हुंदेसी,
स्ट्रीम चालू करता हूँ।
शक्कर जिया
स्ट्रीमर थोड़ी है भाई।
रातासी,
मैं स्ट्रीमर थोड़ी हूँ
मुश्किल
भाई।
दिए
ट्रू।
दरिया ओ दो, सजना जिया
बे
बातासी,
गलती करी ना आज, कल ही सेठ बता रहा
कुछ
था कि ट्विच पे ही
लिपटी
कर ले इससे बढ़िया तो।
तकड़ी माना,
क्यों?
सी जोर बड़ी,
उस पे रीच अच्छा है।
जुल्फी
और उस पे
हंसा
वो भी अच्छा है
जिंदा,
जो तेरे
सिल्लोर बड़ी।
आर्ट मतलब क्या कहते हैं विजेट्स और वो सब है ना। स्ट्रीम का ओवरऑल कंट्रोल इजी है कंपेयर्ड।
लेकिन तू तो अपने लिए स्ट्रीम करता है ना भाई,
वहाँ
तेरे को व्यूअर्स से क्या मतलब?
वर्गेसी सजना
तो
से
लोग तो देख ही पा
बोल
रहे हैं ना।
तेरे,
हाँ, तो क्या
टोटिया
फर्क
स्ट्रीम को
पड़ता है?
मैं वो
टोपी
कर सकता हूँ
अवंग
ना इस अच्छे से।
तो
आदमी
डुअल स्ट्रीम कर सकता है, डुअल
कोई।
स्ट्रीम कर ले।
नहीं 30 Mbps है भाई मेरे पे।
वो भी है, भूल जाता हूँ, माय बैड।
30 Mbps रो देगा। नाविया को क्या सेट देना है।
Wherever.
नया वाला जो आया है उसके लिए।
नहीं कहाँ गई नाविया।
और नाम तो था बढ़िया, इसका एक्चुअली नाम अच्छा है। कुछ तो विस्परिंग वुड्स नाइट टाइम ऐसा कुछ करके। देखता हूँ।
आर बीइंग टैबुलेटेड।
उसका नाम है नाइट टाइम विस्पर्स इन द एकोइंग वुड्स।
भाई ये चीज़ तो नहीं है मेरे पास।
हाँ नया भी आया है, पहले नहीं था ये।
ये रहा। अटैक आफ्टर यूजिंग स्किल गेन। वाह ये तो प्रॉपर जियो आर्टिफैक्ट है।
हाँ तो और क्या।
होली शिट।
जियो आर्टिफैक्ट नहीं है, एक प्रॉपर नाविया आर्टिफैक्ट।
हाँ मतलब एक अटैक भी है यूजुअली जियो में डिफेंस होता है। इसका वो किधर है फिर। हन।
दिवाली
This
है
world I roam.
इश्क
अब बता
कोई
तो मैप खोल।
मौकी सी प्याली है, इश्क कोई सुबह की
अरे
नाली,
मेरी मम्मी नहीं देख रही है इसलिए ठीक
कितना
है।
सजन रहे,
यहाँ थोड़ी होता है। यहाँ भी तो नहीं
इश्क
होता
कोई
है।
यही तो होता है, उधर जाना जिधर
मिलता
था।
है, इश्क
हाँ इसमें
कोई
होता है
आंखों
क्या।
में दिखता है, इश्क
वो थोड़ी
देख,
मेरे
होता है।
दिल को
देखो उसका नाम देखने का पड़ेगा, सिटी ऑफ
फिदा
गोल्ड। मैं उसका नाम देख के
करेगा,
बताता हूँ तेरे को यार एक
बस
बार।
विल्डेड ड्रीम।
मुझको
या तो
फना
मुझे मैंने वो खोला नहीं होगा
कर दे,
मोस्टली देख
उसका नाम
दोस्त।
है
मेरा
वाटरफॉल
हाल
वेन।
तू मेरी
ये
जान तू
रहा।
बस कर दे, शिकाना तेरे वास्ते
अब खोलना
मेरा
पड़ेगा। आजू बाजू
क्या?
कुछ नहीं है। आजा पानी में चलते हैं। मुझे एक बंद चेस्ट दिख रही है यहाँ से।
किसी क्यों जे छड़ना सीने
हाँ
नु, क्यों रखिया उम्मीदा मेरे साथ, मन चक्कर
कंटेंट
छपाया
का यार
से,
वर्ल्ड क्वेस्ट भी बहुत
दुख
अच्छे अच्छे हैं।
किसी से भी नहीं लगते।
मेरे को तो बहुत अच्छे लगे।
डैमेज खा ले। अरे भाई कहीं और से है क्या।
किसी क्यों जे छड़ना
होगा ब्रो।
सीने, रखिया उम्मीदा मेरे तो
अब वो खा जाएंगे क्या
लग के,
भाई बर्निंग और बर्निंग के
इग्नोर ना
अब्बास अंकल
करना
भाई दोनों ही मानते नहीं।
मेरे नाल तो।
वही।
टीचिंग्स ऑफ जस्टिस कहाँ से मिल गई। अच्छा ये भी मिलता है क्या इसमें से। मेरे को याद नहीं था।
सब कुछ मिलता है।
टेस्ट में से
यस।
ये एबिलिटी क्या करती तेरा?
करकनी
ठीक है।
ककनी काकरी हकनी।
एक्सप्लोर करना बंद करिए सर, जो काम करने आए हैं वो करिए।
अरे यार मैं भटक जाता हूँ एक्चुअली उसमें।
मैं देख, भले ही वैसे ही गेंशिन ऐसी गेम है जो एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए ही है, लेकिन मुझे तेरा पता है इसलिए मैं तेरे को याद दिला दिया।
तेरे को और याद दिलाना पड़ेगा एक्चुअली।
अभी मैं स्ट्रीम देख रहा हूँ।
मैं अभी तू नहीं बोलता तो मैं वो टाइम ट्रायल भी करता।
वही।
अरे अरे सही बात है बंदा। क्या है ये? किधर है ये? वाह चला गया अभी सी।
फेंक दिया नीचे।
ओ भाई ये तो बहुत अच्छा म्यूजिक है बैटल का।
Let's light it up.
बोला ना फाउंटेन का म्यूजिक अच्छा है।
फॉन्टेन का जो वो मेन म्यूजिक है ना, जो फॉन्टेन की थीम है वो
एक
बहुत।
एक और म्यूजिक है, जब सुबह सुबह एकदम अर्ली मॉर्निंग होता है ना, तब बजती है वो। 4-5 बजे के अराउंड, इन गेम टाइम बाय द वे, नॉट आईआरएल। अब जितना मैं नोटिस किया हूँ उसका ट्रिगर तो वही है, अब मैं गलत भी हो सकता हूँ, लेकिन उसका ट्रिगर कुछ और
4
भी हो
से
सकता
5 लूफी इज
है।
बैक।
ओ
हेलो। लास्ट टाइम बर्निंग से लड़के गए। बर्निंग और ये आपस में लड़ा रहे थे।
अरे यार, बर्निंग तो है ही। कोई नहीं। हेलो बडी, आज मैं हूँ, बर्निंग नहीं है।
आज मैं हूँ।
यू मस्ट ट्राई टू गेस माय नेम।
ये तो बहुत वो है, वेग सा वो है, ऐसे थोड़ी गेस कर लेगा वो।
उसको हिंट दूंगा ना, क्वेश्चन पूछेगा वो। ठीक
भाई
है भाई। तो मैं उसको सीधा गेस करने थोड़ा ना बोलूंगा, हाँ रैंडम गेस ले ले भाई, लाखों नाम में से मेरा नाम।
ट्रू भाई। मेरे को फोन पे चैट नहीं दिखा रही फॉर सम रीजन।
कोई नहीं, मैं पढ़ दूंगा तेरे लिए चैट।
हम्म।
भाई जस्ट completely ignored me।
अरे
Follow
मिली
the
नहीं
wind.
चिड़िया। चिड़िया
और खेलना 200 पिंग पे।
पूजा 200 पिंग तो मजबूरी है, मैं थोड़ी इच्छा वो करके खेल रहा हूँ 200 पिंग।
और खेलना 200 पिंग पे।
ये तो अब चला सकते हैं ना?
पता नहीं।
चला सकते हैं जेनमिन।
दिन में
Into the wind.
मैं मान के चल रहा हूँ वो टीपी जमीन के अंदर है।
मान ले ब्रो।
यस मैंने मान के छोड़ लिया वो टीपी को।
Time to
वी
go.
आर हियर हमार हियर। ऐसे होता है, इसमें जियो ही चाहिए होता है। नाइस। अरे उस भाई को हिंदी इंग्लिश नहीं आती, हिंदी नहीं आती शायद, मेरे को ऐसा
Wind
डाउट है।
strider.
किसको?
इसको कुछ सवाल पूछा मुझे ऐसा लग
हाँ,
रहा है। मेरे को याद नहीं है, शायद यही बंदा था या फिर दूसरा था। थोड़ी बहुत आती है मतलब
Time to
ऐसा।
go.
लेकिन मुझे इंग्लिश नहीं आती ना, सरकारी
अरे,
स्कूल।
सरकारी स्कूल का लौंडा।
Everybody
अरे ये क्या है? सस्ता वो इलेक्ट्रो शेनेड मेन जो भी।
ये बॉस भी एक्चुअली
Midnight Phantasmagoria. Coming to be. The wind knows. Live.
और एल्बिडो क्यों निकालता हूँ? ले इलेक्ट्रो डैमेज बोनस का कॉकटेल बॉटल मिलता है। हीलिंग बोनस, ये हीलर तो है। एन इक्विपिंग कैरेक्टर हील्स अ पार्टी मेंबर।
इतना बड़ा लंबा।
अच्छा है
साउंड्स
बे।
रॉन्ग, साउंड्स रॉन्ग।
अरे यार, पर वो अच्छा है आर्टिफैक्ट।
ले ले भाई,
Coming to be.
दे दियो नाविया को।
Into the wind.
नाविया के लिए नहीं ब्रदर।
By royal decree.
Wind strider. Live.
Let's light it up. Teamwork is
One with nature. Fallen leaves. Adorn my witness my great undertaking.
मैं भी मास का जेट पड़ा। शाउट आउट ओनली व्हेन आई गेट जॉब। तेरे से मांगा भी कौन शाउट आउट?
तूने लिखा ना ऊपर शॉर्ट आउट।
तो तेरे से मांगा ना मैं।
अच्छा मेट से मांगा क्या?
स्ट्रीम कर रहा है क्या?
यस। वो देर बाद पता चला ना जूस को।
Oz, reveal
मैं
thyself.
बता चुका हूँ ऑलरेडी।
वही।
Wind strider.
तू
अरे
क्या
इसको
गलती
देख
कर?
केकड़े को।
देख देख, तू फायर वाले स्लाइम को ना अपना वो एक्टिवेटेड स्टेट
Everybody
चालू कर
stand
दे।
back. Let's look.
उसके बाद तू वो करेगा कि उसमें क्रायो वाला भी है। फायर और
One
क्रायो
with wind and cloud. Feel this
Casual
ancient
kick.
power.
समझ रहा है ना क्या कहने जा रहा
नहीं नहीं नहीं, वापस बोल, मैंने सुना ही नहीं।
हूँ? देख अभी तू रीस्टार्ट करेगा ना डबल बता।
हाँ क्या है बोल रहा चाह रहा है तू जो?
देख, जो स्टार्टिंग में 4 एनिमीज आते हैं ना,
हाँ
उसमें एक क्रायो स्लाइम है और एक पायरो स्लाइम है।
हाँ।
तो पायरो स्लाइम को अपना एक्टिवेटेड स्टेट में आने दे।
वाह यही मिले जा रहा है, मैंने उसकी तारीफ क्या कर दी जो।
उसको अपने एक्टिवेटेड स्टेट में आने दे, तो काजुओ का ई करियो, क्योंकि फिर उससे क्रायो वाले की शील्ड टूट जाएगी ना।
अरे ये काजुआ नहीं है।
Into the wind.
ओ ओके, वो एक बार में उड़ गई पूरी शील्ड।
वही वही।
Burst forth.
पहले हील हो जा। ओके
One with nature. Coming to be. Fallen leaves. Adorn my moment of birth.
By royal decree.
The wind knows. Burst forth.
स्ट्रीम पे पुल करता हूँ ना उसके लिए, फुल हार्ड के लिए। क्या पता अभी एक सिंगल में आ जाए। भाई क्या है ये हमार, यही क्यों मिले जा रहा है?
तो उसकी तारीफ कर दिया ना। हाँ ऑल्सो
आली
मैं कह
भाई।
रहा था विश करते ब्रो, क्या होता स्ट्रीमर लगता है।
One with nature.
Let's light it up. Feel the
Coming to be.
ये केकड़ा कुछ एलिमेंट का नहीं है ना?
पायरो का है।
है।
देखता है जिसका पायरो शील्ड आता है पहले स्टार्टिंग में।
मेरे को लगा वो नॉर्मल फील्ड है। वो मर गया।
Feel this ancient power.
everybody stand back.
As one with wind and cloud.
Let's light it up. Wings of darkness. Come, sever night from day.
भगवान ने इसमें 2 दे दे वो। एक देता है भगवान भी। क्या दिया है ये भगवान ने?
दिया ना देख। लेकिन तू तो भगवान में मानता ही नहीं।
मान तो रहा हूँ। चेंज कर लिया था, बताया तो था तुझे।
अरे वो तो किसी और रीजन से है।
अरे पर भगवान तो भगवान है
अरे
भाई। मुझे पर्सनैलिटी पसंद आई, मैं उसको मानने लग गया। भगवान तो भगवान
नहीं
है ना।
बट देख वो बात नहीं है। मानना सिर्फ मन में रखने से थोड़ी होता है। अगर तू किसी भगवान को मान रहा है तो उनसे रिलेटेड जो भी रिचुअल्स है जो भी है वो तो तू करेगा ना फॉलो।
कर तो रहा
करता
हूँ।
क्या कर रहा है?
क्या नहीं कर रहा हूँ?
मुझे नहीं पता ना उस भगवान के बारे में। तो बता क्या कर रहा है तू?
लोगों के बीच आपसी दरार डाल रहा हूँ। इलेक्ट्रो डैमेज डाल देता हूँ। ले बन गई 4 पीस। हो गया खत्म। इतना सा था काम।
इजी।
इजी।
ये नहीं बोलूंगा फ्लावर मिसिंग है।
तो 4 पीस ये ना। वो देखो देख, मेरे को टेलीपोर्ट दिखा। ओह बड़ा चेस्ट भी दिखा। वो हरा वाला है या नॉर्मल प्रीशियस है?
तो
अबे तो वो
बैठ
2
जाओ।
है। ये तो वो 2 ट्विंस है जो बजाते हैं तुझे। ओपन वर्ल्ड में भी इतने बजाते हैं क्या?
नहीं ओपन वर्ल्ड में तो बच जाते हैं
Time to
भाई।
go.
देखो देख जादू कर रहा है।
Apologies.
Into the wind.
बच तो नहीं रहे हैं बट हाँ
Let's light it up.
कंपेयर टू अबिस तो ईजी होएगा।
My royal decree.
Wind strike. Fallen leaves. Adorn my night.
भाई कहता है बच नहीं रहे हैं और उसके एक ही में 50% बच चुकी है।
ले मर गए। क्रॉस्ड ऑपरेटिव। ओ ऐसा भी शिट है क्या? अबिस वाला भी करता होगा ना ये।
करता है।
तभी मुश्किल है उसको मारना।
हम्म।
वो नॉर्मल वाला प्रीशियस है तो
Even
वाह
better than I imagined. It's my
क्या
lucky
देते हैं
day.
लोग। अच्छा ठीक है ओके। अपन चलते हैं।
टीपी नहीं खोला तू?
कौन
क्या
सा
खोल दिया?
टिप? खोल दिया ना।
ओके।
ये तो नीचे है, पता नहीं किधर है। ये शायद अंडर वाटर है। यहाँ से गुफा दिख रही है
वो
मुझे।
गुफा दिख रही है ना वही।
नहीं अपन खेलेंगे स्टोरी। मेरे को
ओहो।
पहले चाहिए एल्केमी टेबल।
स्टोरी में जो दरार आने वाली है देखी होगी। क्योंकि तो स्टोरी कर ही नहीं पाएगा।
क्यों?
पहले कैरेक्टर्स क्वेस्ट करनी पड़ेगी तेरे को।
लंफा।
Off we go. Adventure time.
Time to go.
अब मैं शांत रहूंगा।
ये ले। ऐसा मेरे को लगा विश मिलेगी।
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
Vache.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again? Ugh. That's kind of spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
Vache? Vache.
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the water.
Things are getting blurry. नहीं.
Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kind of hear a voice. It's calling for Vache, right? Hey, traveler?
जा रहा है भाई अंदर वो तो.
Walking. Come on, wake up!
जा चुका है अंदर.
स्ट्रीम पे ही सुन रहा हूँ मैं बता अभी.
जहाँ अरे वो शेनेड कहाँ से आ गया?
Vache. Are you my dear Vache? No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten? Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one. I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim. I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me, and I also loved him. But now, we can no longer go back. The pain of such parting. I never knew how heavy it could. No! Our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness. If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. And is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, it was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think. Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vache, tell him not to...
बाय. अरे अरे कट सीन आ गया सीधा. कट सीन कहाँ से आ गया?
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand?
ये 4 स्टार की 5 स्टार है अमर? Definitely.
Quick, now's our chance!
Why? 5 स्टार क्यों है यार?
I
Sad.
should thank you for lending us your sword there, Clarand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, demoiselle. I was not strong.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional harm.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much more than you. But I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with a Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clarand. But if you get any idea...
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, I just... She's...
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done. Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us. Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too. We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be as such. We're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
हमारे इसने exact time कैसे
If
ढूंढा?
it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill.
All right, you two. That's enough.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Ooh, Paimon's even more amazing than she thought!
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
How did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said, that the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors, so how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been...
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Yes. So, if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving
ओ
the
भाई, ये तो बहुत बड़ा वो था.
Really?
तेरे को पिलाता हूँ फैंटा, आजा.
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate. But whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger and hurried here as quickly as I could.
What? Why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help clear his name. Ugh, now we're caught up in this mess too.
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. He said that he heard that voice call. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too! But it was real faint. Does this situation does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
New intel? While you were out...
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh, that... Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate. Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still partners, right? And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula, after all.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
चल हमारा पिना डेरुजुला बाय
it's right up ahead. But let's make sure we...
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone
Very good. But let's...
I shall find rooms for our respected...
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue travel.
मेरे को लगा इसके अंदर था बट उसके अंदर ही है भाई स्लम में ले आई सीधा देख स्लम में बच्चे चिल कर रहे हैं कुछ तो चल रहा है उन दोनों के बीच में वो है क्या स्पिनाडी रोजुला रोजुला
क्या लगता है?
वही है ना ओसी का तो लोगो है शायद ने
नॉट श्योर।
देख दारू का ठेका भी आ गया ठेके का लोगो देख
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
तेरी चढ़ दी
Our
जवानी
funds
नू
have been a
सितारे
little
लग
tight lately.
गए
After all, we
चढ़ेगी
don't allow
जवानी
illegal or
में
unethical
सितारे
profiteering.
लग गए.
In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not.
Your father... He was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did he...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to...
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would... But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena. 3 years... How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself. The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the... However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must... If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than the two of you, Demoiselle. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case for him to be dubbed Callus the Unfaithful. Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people...
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like, people love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
But how could... Never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Cloran.
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him? Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move...
Ms. Cloran has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I...
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do...
Afterward, Ms. Cloran told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety. Yes, that is our
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right, anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end. Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
भाई डीप है भाई हमार ये तो।
वो तो और डीप होगा स्टोरी देखते जा।
Paimon slept so well. This place feels almost too safe. Huh? Navia? Where did the other two go?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here the whole time?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vache.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle.
और भाई
But that does prove
From-
that this Vache person is a key witness in the incident.
चढ़ती जवानी लो सितारे लग गए।
भाई पैसा खर्च किया लैपटॉप इजी खरीद लेता।
There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to. And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice
Nice.
Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept.
अरे रैम अपग्रेड करके क्या मतलब है भाई?
If the Oceanid you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
So Neuvillette
देख अनुरोध
maintains
उसने
an
भी
archive of case
अपग्रेड कर
files?
दिया। अब तू कब खरीद रहा है मॉनिटर?
Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we? Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get tired?
अरे 24 GB रैम क्यों चाहिए तुझे?
नॉट को ना काफी ऑड नंबर है वो।
वही 24 क्या नंबर होता है? क्या कितनी रैम है तेरे पास? अरे ऑफिस का काम होता है तो 24 GB रैम का क्या करेगा? ये तो बता मुझे। ऑफिस का काम तो ठीक है। हाँ पहले 8 थी अभी। अब स्ट्रीम पे उठ कर आते हैं, वीसी पे कोई उठ कर नहीं आ रहा है। देख ये बंगाली को।
ये बंगाली की तो हट साथ।
8 थी 16 ऐड कर दी। मोहित्रिक याद आ रहा है माज का कुछ केस इसके बाद? इतने 8 पे 8 ऐड करना। हाँ पहलो किल थोड़ी बेहतर होएगा रैम डाल के। पर ये 8 और 16 क्या नंबर होता है? या तो 8 पे 8 डाल या दोनों को 16 कर, पीसी पुक जाएगा तेरा।
ये भाई को कौन समझाया? मैं भी ऐसे ही किया था अपने लैपटॉप का।
Let's go see the honorable
माज
Chief
का भी तो ये हुआ था।
Justice.
नहीं मेरे पास 8 मेरे पास कितने दिए? कुछ तो था मेरा सिस्टम।
अरे एक ही स्लॉट का लेता तो दोनों को 16 कर दे उसको।
अरे देख मैं बताता हूँ मैं
सेम
क्या
रख।
किया था। मेरे पास एक 8 थी और एक 4 थी लैपटॉप में। तो मैं उस बंदे को बोला तू मेरे से 4 वाली ले ले और मेरे को 8 वाली दे दे। तो पैसे भी कम हो गए। ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही पड़ा था। एक जितने भी 4 वाली आ रही थी ऐसे कुछ सीन था। 8 मिल गई थी मुझे मतलब में प्रॉपर।
मोहित्रिक तो कैसे लिखता है मेरे को समझ नहीं आता। उसने इक्वल क्या लिखा है? देख देख जरा।
एक तो दुकान वाला तेरे को समझाया नहीं क्या भाई कि नहीं करना होता ये?
दुकान वाला कुछ भी चिपकाता है।
हाँ उसका तो बिजनेस चल रहा है तो उसको जो चिपकाएगा वो। मैं बोलूंगा भाई जाके
और
हो
उसके
सके
पास
तो चेंज करा दो नहीं तो पूरा लैपटॉप नया लेना पड़ेगा।
उसके पास एक 16 नहीं थी। डैम।
अरे अरे अरे
अभी इंजीनियर है भाई।
खबर है तो फिर ऐसे काम क्यों करते हो? हाँ ऐसा बोलो ना। ये बात पहले बोलना होता।
भाई सब अपना ज्ञान पेलने लग गए।
उसकी
तो
भलाई
अच्छा
के
हुआ
लिए क्या
डीवाई
बोलते हैं।
नहीं हुआ
Please
इधर,
state your business
नहीं,
here.
डीवाई को तो
The
पता ही नहीं
Chief
था,
Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
क्योंकि अगर उसको पता होता तो अपना पीसी वो खुद बनवाता ना कि मैट्रिक्स।
Huh. This place does look
तो
pretty
किचन में बैठ के
avant-garde.
वो क्यों चला रहा है
Guess that proves that
यूट्यूब?
Nervalet's files are really
मैं
secure.
नहीं, मेरा दूसरा
हाँ,
दोस्त।
अच्छा अच्छा अभी देखा किसको कह रहे तू।
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be
Why?
related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep, yep. Paimon can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy. So please leave if you don't have a
इसको तो
reason
उठा के
to be
फेंक
here.
देगा भाई, पाइमोन ही फेंक देगी इसको उठा के।
No, no. What I meant to say
क्या
is,
चौड़ में आ रही है।
shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course.
Ah,
Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust
न्यू
us.
पर्सन ऑन द स्ट्रीम, रेजिको, हेलो
वाह
बडी।
रेजिको हेलो।
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice
भाई
is just
शनौक क्या
inside.
लिखता है भाई, क्या
Ah, thanks so much.
किससे
वेलकम
बात करता है
वेलकम
मुझे वो भी नहीं पता चलता है।
वेलकम वेलकम। तुम क्यों लिख रहे हो? बीसी में दो लोग बैठे हैं बोलने के लिए भाई।
भाई वेलकम तो कहाँ लिख रहा है वो? अच्छा लिखा उसने बाद में, हु यू पहले लिखता है यार।
वेलकम रेजिको, वेलकम
ओह
टू द स्ट्रीम।
नॉक करो दरवाजे पे, बाहर आ जाएगा वो।
भाई सब्जी काट जा।
Please come in.
गो बैक टू द किचन ब्रो।
अरे यार मेरे इस पे क्यों नहीं आ रहा मैसेज?
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
I'm good. How are you?
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key
भाई तुम
information on
लोग
the
क्या
case.
लड़ा रहे हो, क्या लड़ा देख तो सही तो रुको यार। रेजिको हाउ वाज योर क्रिसमस?
तूने पहले पूछा नहीं उस क्रिसमस सेलिब्रेट करता है कि नहीं?
वो सब लोग करते हैं भाई, मैं ये मान के चल रहा हूँ।
नहीं। ठीक है।
मैं ये मान के चल रहा हूँ।
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
कुछ तो बात चल रही है इन दोनों की।
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
Unfortunately,
सुपर चैट कर लिखता है भाई। बज आ गया भाई, और भाई बज बीसी ही आ जा।
I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has
पैसा
been
मेरे को
involved
जीपे
in
पे
any
भेज दे,
case,
सुपर चैट क्यों ऑन
criminal or
करवा रहा है?
civil, in the past several years.
भाई याओ याओ भी कहाँ से आता है? हेलो
वो भाई लिखा ना इज बेट, वो लिखा ना इज बेटर एट सकिंग।
ये क्या लिखा मैं तेरे? किक कर
डोनेट
दूं क्या
द
इसको?
लाइक टू
वीसी
द चैट।
को वीसी से ही किक कर दूं सीधा? रुक जा, सर्वर से किक कर देता हूँ वो ट्रिक।
क्या तू
There
लिखता
are
है
no
भाई मैट्रिक?
records of him either in the files or in my
स्टोरी
memory.
पे कंसंट्रेट कर भाई तू इन सब कुछ।
Traveler,
बाद में तू मेरे से
what if it
पूछेगा।
was really just a dream?
आ गया
So,
दुर्बाल।
right then.
मैं किक तो
Thank
कर
you so
दूंगा
much
लेकिन
गुड
for
बस
नाइट
saving
बस,
चालू
Novia's
हो
गुड
जाएंगे
life.
भाई।
नाइट।
We'll take our leave
अपना
now.
पावर को गलत इस्तेमाल कर रहे हो।
ओ भाई
Ahem.
क्यों कर रहा है स्ट्रीम जब तू
भाई
नहीं है?
हाँ, अब तो मैं एक बंदा तो देख नहीं रहा भाई, 8 हो गए।
Miss Navia,
गुड नाइट भाई,
I can
गुड नाइट।
understand how you feel.
तुम सबको नहीं बुलाएंगे गौरव गुजराती भाई
Your
यहाँ पे।
father, Callus,
You are not
was
allowed.
a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
यार को लिंक भेजता हूँ, तू लेके भी क्या ही करेगा, मुझे वो बता दे।
काय का लिंक चाहिए ना?
हर बार
नहीं नहीं यार आप मत आओ यार।
चुप हो जा जूस, चुप हो
And
जा।
what are you trying to say, Monsieur Novelet?
खड़ा नहीं हो रहा, टिप्स दे।
अरे तेरा तो
Are you
अटका
trying
हुआ
to
था ना पहले, वो
console
तो
me?
ठीक करवाई थी।
वो तो हो
Extend your
गया ना, फोटो
sympathy?
भेजू क्या?
Or
भेजू क्या,
just
फोटो भेजू?
express
हाँ,
some
किसी को भेज दो।
tendril of regret?
भेजू
No.
क्या? नहीं वो डिजर्व नहीं
You
करते।
are not trying to do any of that. I
ले
can hear it in
स्ट्रीम
your
पे रिकॉर्ड कर
voice.
लिया,
ले
स्ट्रीम पे रिकॉर्ड कर
There's
लिया।
no
ले जो
क्या
स्टिप
है
दे
emotion
दी
करना?
मैंने,
behind
ले
your words.
ले जो स्टिप
You
दे दी
only
मैंने।
said those things because you felt like you should.
क्या
नहीं
भाई?
कोई दे दे, किसी और को तो दे नहीं पाएगा।
It's just like last time.
किसी और
After
का
my
ऐसा
father
होता नहीं
took
है
his
ना
place
भाई।
in the duelist ring, I pushed through the
अबे
guards to
वेडर,
talk to you
हम्म
as a last resort.
वो पता चला किसने करा
You
था
even
मर्डर?
told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still
अभी
allowed
वही
me to
तो
Exactly.
just go
कर
ahead.
वही कर रहे हैं अभी।
एग्जैक्टली वो बंदा नहीं पता चला, खाली उसका अकम्प्लिस मिला है।
In your
ओ भाई
eyes,
वो
the
कौन था?
value of a human life is nothing
वही जो मरा।
compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
हाँ?
जो
वही
मरा
ना?
था वही वो था। मैं
अच्छा
बाद
अरे
में
मतलब वो,
बताएंगे कैसे था।
हाँ
हाँ
इस
मतलब बिगर क्राइम में पार्ट था और उसको मरवा दिया
नहीं
ताकि
नहीं, वो
लीक
वो
हो
हुआ
जाए।
कैसे मैं बताता हूँ। जो उनके पास मतलब ऐसा प्राइमोडियल सी का जो वाटर है
मैं
उससे,
समझाता हूँ सिंपल भाषा में। देखो,
हाँ
एक प्राइमोडियल सी का वाटर है, ठीक है। उससे जितने भी फाउंटेन के लोग हैं ना, वो लोग पानी बन जाते हैं। ऐसा है, जादू है, मतलब कर्स है वो उनके ऊपर, फाउंटेन के लोगों के ऊपर वो पानी बन जाएंगे। तो क्या होता है, जो लड़की डब्बे के अंदर जाती है ना, वो एक्चुअली फाउंटेन की नहीं होती, वो कहीं और की होती है। उसने
मॉन्स्टर्ड
अपनी
की होती है वो।
मॉन्स्टर्ड की होती है, उसने कोई आइडेंटिटी छुपा रखी होती है, बिकॉज वो चोर है, ठीक है। वो अब डब्बे के अंदर जाती है, तो जो वो बंदा था ना जो मरा, तो उसका गोल ये था कि उसको डर फैलाना है, ये सब फैलाना है। वो प्राइमोडियल, उस लड़की को बेसिकली प्राइमोडियल वाटर से कन्वर्ट करना था उसे, वाटर के अंदर। तो जैसे वो लड़की डब्बे में जाती है, तो वो भाई पानी फेंक
If you
देता है।
truly
अब वो
regret my
मैजिक ट्रिक क्या
father's
होती है
death,
कि दो डब्बे नीचे
then
से
why didn't
टनल
you
के
call
थ्रू
a
एक्सचेंज
stop to
होंगे।
the duel?
रो रही है
Why
नाभिया।
didn't
अब
you
वो
give
लड़की
me the
डब्बे में
power
होती है
to
टनल
stop
के
him
अंदर,
from
और
throwing
उसके वो
his
पानी
life
गिरता है, तो
away?
मैडम
Why did you
थोड़ा
just let him
धक्का
die?
मुक्की करके तोड़
Despised
देती है
and
वो
hated by all.
अपना बक्सा,
Everything
एंड बाहर आ
was
जाती है।
hanging on a
एंड
thread
फिर
at
उस
that
बंदे से
moment.
लड़ाई करती है वो,
Just the
जो पानी
tiniest
डाल रहा होता
effort could have
है।
changed.
एंड वो धक्का
There
मुक्की में
are
वो भाई
still
डब्बे के
so
अंदर
many
बंद हो जाता
things I never got to tell him.
है, एंड दैट्स हाउ ही डाइड।
So many questions. He still owes me answers. If you really have no heart, then
तेरा
just
स्ट्रीम पे
look
तो
me
स्टोरी तो
in
नहीं
the
खेल
eyes.
सकता।
I, Navia, will show you the true meaning
खेल
of
सकता है, इग्नोर
regret.
करके खेलना।
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
स्ट्रीम करी क्यों रहा है
You
इग्नोर
and
करना?
my father are truly
स्ट्रीम
alike.
करी क्यों रहा है जब
You
इग्नोर
keep
करना है
all
तो?
kinds of things in your heart
अरे
and never say a
वापस
word
लो
for
भाई,
not
तभी
so
तू
much that
असली
you
स्ट्रीमर
can't
नहीं
feel,
है हमारा।
but that you would never express anything.
नंबर तो
Oh
था ही
well.
नहीं।
अरे बड़ी
In any case,
डिवाइस असली
everyone
स्ट्रीमर।
already knows full well the
नहीं नहीं
apathy
पागल
of
है
the
क्या?
Chief
वो
Justice.
राइटर नहीं है,
My
वो
apologies for
इंजीनियर नहीं
taking my
है,
emotions out on you,
वो
Monsieur
कुछ नहीं
Chief
है।
Justice. Let's go,
अभी
Traveler
डिग्री
and
आएगी तो
Paimon.
इंजीनियर बन जाएगा।
ट्रू भाई।
साली तो 2D है।
कौन टूटी है?
मेरे से फ्रंट पेज में आया एक से
मैं नाभिया तो सैड हो गई।
Navia,
उसको
I'm
स्टोरी
fine.
खेलने देगा कि मुझे तेरे का अपन लोग?
तो कहाँ पे खेलेगा ना, क्या दिक्कत है, खेल ही तो रहा है।
wasn't it still sunny when we
भूल
went
थोड़ी
to the
जाएगा
building?
देख के।
And there
उसका
shouldn't be
ध्यान
any
भटका
active
रहा है।
trials today.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also rainy.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he...
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself?
कुछ और है क्या हमारे बीच में? इतना ऑप्शन क्यों दिया है अपने को?
Great.
नहीं
नहीं देख उसने डायरेक्ट टीपी कर लिया. अच्छा हुआ चला गया ना मैं उसके साथ. ओह सामने टीपी भी दिख रहा है मुझे.
एक्चुअली अच्छा करने लग गया गेंजिन, मतलब डायरेक्ट तो वहीं पे टिप्पी करा देते हैं मोस्ट ऑफ द
देख फाउंटेन का मेरे को पता है ये आर्किटेक्चर अच्छा लगा. लेकिन उन्होंने ऐसा शीट मेटल यूज कर रखा है जैसे.
हाँ
रस्ट वाला शीट मेटल.
वही मैं कहने वाला था उसको.
एग्जैक्टली वही है वो. ये देख.
हाँ वही है.
भाई क्या लग रहा है?
अच्छा लग रहा है.
जैसे लकड़ी का ना बना के. मेरे जाते ही वॉच गिर गई.
उसको जाता है
स्टेशन हॉक. ओ भाई तो तू ही तो लाता है वॉचिंग. तू और तेरे होटल वाले ही हैं जो देख रहे हैं.
अब भाई 4 बंदे एक साथ देखेंगे एशियन ऑफ के फोन से तो.
नीचे है ना ये तो. ये चीज क्या करती है हमार? डोंट वांट टू गो.
ट्राई करके देख. ट्राई करके देख.
अबे तो स्लिंगशॉट जैसा लग रहा है. चले जा हमने
ओह मैं निकल भी नहीं पा रहा.
वाटर कैनन.
भाई बेटर भाई चल बसाई तो पानी की तरह.
बहुत अच्छा है भाई. तो
काफी एक्चुअली काफी हाइड्रो क्लास बहुत ऊपर है हवा में, तो वहाँ पे ऐसे जा सकते हैं.
अरे
सबको घर वालों के सामने
बहुत ज़्यादा ड्राइंग
बात करनी है. स्ट्रीम पे
चले गए.
ना खाओ जस्ट ऑन ना खाओ.
नमस्कार आंटी.
There's no need to be
आंटी को
so
भी लिंक दे दे मेरे उसका.
surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters.
ओ भाई.
My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when Paimon was confused by
यार
a group with
मैं
such
उसको
a
फुल
history
करने
with
के लिए क्लिक
limitless
करता हूँ और
pillars.
वो खत्म हो चुकी होती लाइन तब तक.
But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself,
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base.
Our home. मैंने हाइड्रोक्लोस कलेक्ट नहीं करे एक भी. मतलब एक कर रखा है गलती से, पर मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ एक्चुअली क्योंकि मेरे को उसका रूट से ट्राई करना है एक बार.
रूट बहुत सिंपल इजी होता है, लेकिन उसके लिए तो सारी वर्ल्ड क्रश करके रखनी पड़ेंगी पहले से ही बिफोर हैंड.
वही ट्राई करूँगा. जैसे अभी हाइड्रोक्लोस मैंने उठा लिए, चालू कर दिया ना. नहीं उठाऊंगा मैं.
सही है.
बार ऐसे भी ट्राई करके देखते हैं.
कुछ ना हिडन होते हैं किसी चीज के पीछे. एक कुछ ना कुछ करके तो वो बता देता है बंदा उसे.
Melus, we're back.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quick?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Melus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murder.
could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity and at a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of...
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotion. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened, not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the... Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some... But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene. Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to... But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired. You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on... I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost it. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our... There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this...
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between... But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness, and the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict, but once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key, but as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's
एक
life.
मिनट में आया मैं.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful were still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose
गिराता है
to die
watching
in
बार-बार.
silence, so that he could
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
अरे तो तू
That
मत रहे
fool.
भाई, watching लेकर तो आ.
Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set
बस
things up,
बस
if I had wanted, I could have just
मेरे
lived out my
सस्ते
life without a
motivational
care in the
speaker.
world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where Synth is produced. Essentially,
बस बस
it's the enemy's
जा.
headquarters.
आ.
When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades.
मेरे को तो चार ही दिख रहे हैं अभी तो.
There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
मैं तो तू खुद आया है ना, तो चार नहीं होंगे क्या? छुट्टे उट्टे क्या?
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
Huh. That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with—
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability—
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you
अभी भी चार
discovered
ही दिख
anything
रहे हैं,
new in
but
the
ठीक है,
past
तू
few
कह रहा है
years?
तो मान लेता हूँ.
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an when I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately— If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, the first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was— Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our— There's someone else like him too. Marcel. the head of Confrérie of Cabriere.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. The boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around with a lot of business.
So, they're like a sister organization?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, it's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a...
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangement.
Oh, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
This case record. फिर से मिल गया.
Time to go.
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Adele.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the...
If it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe...
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away.
अरे अनुरुद्ध
Even
20
if he
सेकंडों को बैन
fired
करूं
the
क्या
shot
स्ट्रीम
that
से?
killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, So why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was.
Yeah. Papa was a really good man. The best.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword, he must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh.
क्या लिखता है?
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will
Thank you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Why? जॉक की फैमिली। ये देख हमारा अडेल का बचपन।
वही ब्रो स्पिना दे रुजुला में वो बड़ी हुई थी। बहुत
Are you okay, Navia?
ये इन डब्बों को तोड़ नहीं सकता ना फिर
I'm
मैं।
fine.
मेटल के हैं भाई वो।
Let's investigate the 3 suspects
मेरे
next.
को आलू कैसे मिलेगा?
Laurent
तेरा
should be
डल ब्लेड
nearby,
इतना स्ट्रांग है
and we
तो
should
तोड़
be
दे
able to
भाई।
find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in
ये
the
डल
city.
प्लेट जेड चेम्बर गिरा है
I'll
फालतू
get
कैसे
myself
बोल रहा
together on the way. So please don't worry.
गॉड्स को भी हराया भाई उसने।
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to... Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look.
So you also remember 2...
Indeed. The guards said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra... The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he... He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of it?
About that, Malouse told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he... I'll tell you everything, once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then, I'll leave Mr. Callis's honor in your hands. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis the Unfate... Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula. And live the life no matter what others might say. He'll always be the man I respect the most.
Don't worry. I will... You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
दूर क्यों है?
क्या कह रहा है?
मैं कह रहा हूँ ये ऐसा सीधे सीधे सस्पेक्ट से जाके क्या बात कर रही है?
Oh,
Now, what brings you here, Miss
तू
Navia?
क्या था क्या हो?
I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself.
अजीब तरीके से बात कर रही
So you've got news of that already.
is what I think.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know.
Gardes.
The way you make it sound,
Gardes.
people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that?
Before तेरे को पता
Under
चले
normal
कौन वो है
circumstances, shouldn't you have been
the
called back
culprit.
to the city already?
बताइए क्या लगता है कौन है तो एक बार बताइए.
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callis did a fantastic job running the town. Building Spina di Rasula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions, and it would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial number.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your
Patient की
shoulders
बात हो
or
रही है.
carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think
वो
you're
बोला
out
ना,
of your mind and ignore you
chef कर रहा
completely.
है.
The same goes for me and my Gardamex.
लेकिन
Removing a
वो
serial
तो
number is also
रेजागिरी करता
not as
नहीं.
easy as you
मैं
might
तो
think.
रेजागिरी करता हूँ.
There are a lot of
नहीं नहीं
complex steps to it.
वो
अपना
भी
एशियन
रेजागिरी
भाई
Almost
भी
impossible
वही
to
वो
keep
शेफ
it a
थोड़ी है.
secret.
नहीं वो
So I can promise
रेजागिरी भी
you,
नहीं करता भाई वो
those
शेफ
mecha
कोई
were
नहीं करता ना
definitely
उसने खाना ही
private
तो तीन
units.
चार लोगों के लिए बनाया है
They're
जब
certainly
तक
not
उनका
cheap.
वर्थ
जब
नहीं
तक
निकलता तब तक
Whoever their
1000
owner
लोगों के लिए
is
खाना नहीं
must
बनाता
be
तब तक कोई
super
सेंस नहीं है.
rich, powerful,
देख
or
अगर वो रेस्टोरेंट में
both.
काम कर रहा तो ऑफ कोर्स सी बात है
Now that you
उसको कि
mention
हाँ
it,
भाई
though,
लोग आके बोलेंगे खाना बना के
Oh,
दे. लेकिन
then you're
जब वो घर पे होता
officially
है तब
in
वो
the
क्या उसको
clear,
लोग बोलते हैं
Thierry.
कि हाँ भाई घर पे आके खाना बना के दे मेरे को.
Well, thank you for the vote of confidence,
वो
Navi.
बोलते
डरा
ही
के
होंगे
दे.
Jokes aside,
लेकिन
डरा
यार
दिया भाई
दो लोगों
थियरी
के
I'd like
खाने
to
से
wish you all the best with your
लेकिन फिर
थियरी
दो लोगों
investigation.
सोचा
के
भाई
खाने
मैं तो
से तेरा
पकड़ा
I'll be
गया.
staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
गार्डेज
थियरी
गर्दिश.
फिर उन्हें फाउंटेन बहुत अच्छा था.
क्या नहीं पता था कि फाउंटेन बेस्ट रीजन है.
जेन्युइन भाई मस्त मस्त बनाया है.
ओ भाई हील हो गया
खाना खा लिया भाई उसने. फील हो गया.
अरे अरे
Hello, how may I help you?
गिरती मिशन
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
कैलकागिनी
Sure. I will let him know right away.
कैलकागिनी.
कैलकागिनी है भाई वो Onfreri of
Navia,
Kabiri
hello.
staff.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too.
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see
Oh,
the
uncle
magic
का
show.
सूट तो बॉडी
Who
पेंट
knew
लग
it
रहा
would
है
turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
शक्ल देख भाई
यार पाइमोन की क्या शक्ल नहीं है इतनी
Apologies.
अनइंटरेस्टेड
It's
सी
just how
शक्ल
Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Aranius by
हिम्मत
some
तेरे को करनी लग
unnumbered
रही है
Gardamax. And there was
नहीं
also an attempt to get me to drink
तो नहीं
water
पता
from the
है
primordial sea.
क्या कह
If
रहा है?
not for the vigilance
ठीक
of
है
my
तो लगा तो
partner, I
अरे ये तो
probably
पता ही
wouldn't
नहीं।
even be here talking to you right
तो
now.
कोई ठंड नहीं
Oh,
लगती
you're giving us too much
पता नहीं
credit.
जब से बाहर से घूम
Wasn't
के आया
it
हूँ
you
उसके
who
बाद तो दिल्ली की
protected us?
ठंड नहीं लग रही मेरे को।
Alas, it seems things are
वाह
heating up again. The peace
एक
that
वर्ल्ड से
Callus
मिलने जा
sought
रहे हो
so
क्या तुम
dearly
लोग
will soon become a thing of the
हाँ
past.
एक
But
हॉल्ट के
rest
लिए पीजी का
assured,
इंतजाम
Nadia,
भी करवाएंगे भाई।
Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you.
सबको
If you're
बोला गया
scared,
था पीछे
साउथ
you can
दिल्ली में
always
करा दियो
return there.
पूछ रहा था
If
टेक वाला।
anyone dares to lay their hands
साउथ
on
दिल्ली
you
बहुत दूर
there,
पड़ जाएगा उसको।
the confrérie of
पर
Cabrera
मोहित्रिक है ना
will use
कार में
its
छोड़
funds to
देगा
the last Mora to
बस
bring them to
मेरे
justice.
तेजा मैं
Thank
ड्राइवर
you,
थोड़ी
Uncle
बन रहा हूँ
Marcel.
मैं
But I
जब
don't
तक मैं
intend to
एक
go
पूरी
into
की
hiding.
पूरी
I'm
लेन
going
इन
to
बिल्डिंग में
strike
ना
while the
ठोक दूँ
iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me. So it'll take me a while to... The confrérie was responsible for that banquet. So I was out and about the whole time, making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
हाँ
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his...
देखा अब इन्होंने वो करा है या फिर भाई ने गलत बोला है क्योंकि भाई ने तो एक ही गन शॉट बोला। तो ये देख मैकेनिकल डॉग मुद्रिक
देख रहा हूँ मैकेनिकल डक है ये तो
नहीं 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 मैकेनिकल नहीं है वो।
Have anyone doing maintenance on this statue?
नहीं कोई नहीं कर रहा मेंटेनेंस।
Time to go.
इसका ये वाला फीचर मेरे को अच्छा लगा जो
We
वो
talked to all three suspects.
किताब से पढ़ता है ना
Purely based on their conversations with me.
या हमारे को तो नींद आ रही है।
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right. Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered and that he had no choice.
उस्सो एक बाकी है।
Before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used to...
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn... Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, but who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
हाँ सीधा ही दे दिया भाई मेरे को। पढ़ने पढ़ाने का दिया ही नहीं। क्या लगता है हमार?
मैं तो देख सही गेस किया था पहली बारी में। तू देख।
Shit bro, fuck it we ball. मार्सेल कौन सा था वैसे?
अंकल जी।
जो लास्ट में मिले ना?
हाँ।
Uncle Marcel?
अब बता दे सही है कि गलत।
सही है।
Father did really trust
अगर ये
him,
गलत क्लिक करता तो क्या
and
आता?
they worked together
कुछ
on a
नहीं, वो
large number
बोलते
of projects.
कि
सामान बोलती
Maybe
वापस
that's
सोच
how he
ले।
got to know
कि
Jacques.
वापस नहीं, ये सही
And
नहीं
with
लग रहा
funds from the
भाई।
Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex.
भाई ने
Still
एक ही
really
वो
hard
सुना
for me to
शॉर्ट
imagine,
मेरे को तो
though.
वो चीज़ अजीब लगी।
After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
ओह ओह मेरे को वो दिया। तो फिर मैं सबका ही सुन
Thierry,
लेता
you
हूँ
say?
एक-एक।
Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex but I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
ये ले।
Florent? It is true that, but as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be?
I think
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us,
तेरी सेंस क्या थी
and
वैसे
possesses
मालूम है?
significant...
याद नहीं।
Even if I don't want to believe it,
0.55 शायद।
I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
DPI?
We still have another truck part on
1300।
top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extreme. We need far more solid proof.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something
इनकी
happen?
लो सेंस थी ना?
News came from Irenaeus just after you left.
1300
We've
का
got another
0.55 तो
trial.
बहुत ज़्यादा थी।
Wasn't that place built specifically
नहीं अभी
for
लो है ना,
holding
लास्ट
trials?
में लो थी तो
I
पुरानी
know,
है।
but they said the
अभी
person
अभी
we're
वाली
putting on
कितनी है?
trial
मुझे
is a
नहीं याद।
Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
What? Is that someone?
Yeah, we know him.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Wait, how? None of our investigation.
That's what I thought was strange about it. So I came to... If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned...
Right.
भाई
Because
यही तो
they'll
यही
think
सब।
they've already found the
Tilde
This
को
is
कहाँ
right where
फेंक
it
दिया?
begins.
Yeah.
This is right
And
where
it'll
it
be a
begins.
lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just as if, since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Aaron. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House, and I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. it'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Linny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany.
I'm ready.
भाई मेरे को तो सिल्वर लगता है, क्या बोलूँ ना,
Silver,
ये शक्ल
when
देख
did you two get here?
We heard that
देख
you'll be leaving
ऐसे
Poisson and figured that you might
छाँव में
require
चश्मा
our
कौन पहनता है,
assistance. It's our hope that
वो भी बिना
your
डंडे का.
confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
बाल के पीछे छुपा है भाई
Thank you so much. Then let's make haste for Arrhenius.
हाँ तो उस तरफ
Paimon,
देख,
Traveler, I'll
उस
see you
तरफ
at
वाले
the
को
Opera
देख,
House.
कहाँ है अब उस साइड में.
सिल्वर मैं तेरे को प्रोटेक्ट करने का ट्राई कर रहा था, बट यू हैव फेल्ड मी yet again.
अरे गेंजिन वाले वो चश्मा बनाते हैं, वो ऐसा नहीं होता जो आगे से चिपक जाता है सीधा.
Lol.
The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
चश्मे से याद आया यार, वो पाइमोन वाला चश्मा बहुत बढ़िया था.
पहन ले वो, खरीद ले.
The synth production
पाइमोन ने
base
तू ही
is
दिला था.
underwater.
ओह आजा.
Let's go and try to find the entrance.
जा.
बोला तुम.
सीधा होम डिलीवरी करता हूँ तेरे को मैं.
वो आजा, ऐसा नहीं पड़ा ही रहता है एक पाइमोन तेरे घर पे.
नहीं नहीं भाई, पढ़ा नहीं रहा. हाँ पढ़ा, काइंड ऑफ पढ़ा रहता है, लेकिन उसको
इतना बढ़िया था ना, अबे वेटर नहीं था, इतना बढ़िया था वेटर. मैं गेम में गया, एक नेपाली मिला, अरे ना इम्प्रेसिव.
क्या?
इम्प्रेसिव बोलता है ना, इम्प्रेसिव. हर राउंड के बाद बोलते हैं इम्प्रेसिव. तो बढ़िया मजा आ रहा था.
तेरे को 3 पॉइंट दिख रहा है, उनको कट करना है साथ में.
भाई साहब पानी में जा
अच्छा,
सकते हैं अब जंक्शन में.
साथ
तो तेरे
में.
पास एबिलिटी है उससे. अरे तो होल्ड करेगा ना उसको, एम करो, तीनों को तेरे को साथ में कट करना है, ऐसा एंगल बिठा के तू तो तीनों को साथ में कट करना
अच्छा ऐसा लाइन से जाता है क्या ये?
है. यस.
वाह, ये नीचे क्यों जा रहा है?
Finally found it.
वो देख, लालच दे रहा है.
So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. Ah, you're right. An important place like this is bound. Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
Meanwhile Navia, हाँ दिखा दिया, दिखा दिया. Holy shit.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their... In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with
अरे
that
यार
champion
इसको तो
Louis
लड़ाई
Florent.
करनी है, ये तो दलित है.
I've got to
अरे तो
admit,
पहले भी
that's
लड़ाई
one
कर
of the
रहा था
most
उससे.
enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey, don't you understand?
भाई का विजन काम कर नहीं रहा है और भाई लड़ाई करने चल रहा
For a
है.
वही
major case.
विजन तो है भी नहीं, विजन तो अपने पास में है.
वही तेरे को पता चलेगा बाद में एंड ऑफ द स्टोरी में कि इसका विजन क्यों काम नहीं कर रहा है.
On the ways of the opera house.
Like at least
Then
a
why don't
little
you
bit of hint
duel
दे
me
देंगे वो.
too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man. Huh? What's going on?
Surprised audience member.
Interjecting again.
Doubtful audience member.
I told you it couldn't be one of the
Confident
Fatui harbingers.
audience member.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway. So I'll take you up on that offer. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would...
That person is...
अरे अरे इसको भेज दो क्या?
भेज दे भेज दे।
Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my
ले
life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking... And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this...
Yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys,
Santa
please
को
take
भी
your
sorry
places
बोल
on
रहा
the
है.
court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial. Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney.
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and...
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your... Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that...
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm
पता नहीं.
struggling
शायद
to
बोल सकता है. I
remember
don't know.
some details of that case.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
चुप हो जा.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage.
अरे यार फिर
On
से
the
ये
day
आ
of the
गया.
murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed. These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even, in truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father... After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about...
क्या है? ये क्या हमरू ये नहीं है, यही तो होना चाहिए था। एविडेंस टू रिफ्यूट द
इससे हेल्प कर
बैंक्वेट।
देता हूँ, पहला और आखिरी वाला चेंज नहीं होगा। जो 5 है ना लेफ्ट में सर्कल में, उनसे पहला और आखिरी वाला चेंज नहीं होगा।
अच्छा ठीक है, ओके, वो तो एक्चुअली ट्रूथ है। ओके, उसको वो
हाँ।
रिफ्यूट नहीं कर सकती। ठीक है, सही है, सही है। हाँ, वो सेम जैसे इसके लिनी के केस में हुआ था कि फर्स्ट और लास्ट वाला तो चेंज हो ही नहीं सकता कभी, मोस्ट केसेस में। तो अगर इसमें चलते हैं, सेलेक्ट एविडेंस टू रिफ्यूट 2 गन शॉट्स। तो इसमें ये होगा, जैसे मैं 2 गन शॉट्स है तो ओके ये नहीं है। 2 गन शॉट्स में ये, हाँ यस।
Testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the bank. However, in the end, he reconsidered and instead shared everything with. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had.
Scene of crime.
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed, but now it is clear that the clothes were proof that there. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder.
So that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these.
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal.
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, 1. Do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid not.
Boo! If you don't have any evidence, you should just go
On
home.
full audience.
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little different?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him.
और भाई
The
बनने
dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an
क्या चल
important
रहा है?
secret for the true culprit of the serial
किसमें?
disappearances case. My
तेरी
father
stream
could
हो
have
गई?
exposed it for
नहीं
all to
चल रही
see,
है।
but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. all of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right, but what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice? By staying silent, we retain the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father.
So, you mean to say, your father and...
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the truth about...
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callus was...
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives in my line of work. I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live, or if I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alone.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between...
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearance?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at this. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the...
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations, until I'm the only one left on the... Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. How? Do you know what the biggest flaw in your...
I suppose you're gonna tell me and...
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, demoiselle.
No.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snez. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in...
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me. And the biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth. While that same agency has long been taken from them, the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse The people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image do you see? Is it a man named Vache? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never...
I was waiting for you to...
हाँ इधर क्यों भेज दिया? क्या करते हैं भाई ये लोग? ओ भाई हमारी तो बहुत अच्छा कर दिया इन लोगों ने। सीधा इधर से पार्टी सेटअप। ओ ये क्या है? संडे है बाय। क्या मस्त लग रहा है ये कमरा। ये क्या करती है बीच वाली चीज? ओके ओके वो लग क्यों नहीं रहा है?
क्या पता वो
लग ही नहीं रहा। हाँ ओके ओके इधर नहीं लग सकता वो क्योंकि मैकेनिज्म है। ठीक है ये लिफ्ट थी क्योंकि ये लिफ्ट थी।
Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
वो देख क्या मस्त बनाया है। ये फॉन्टेन के तो डब्बे भी सुंदर है। ओ वाह अंडर वाटर एक्वेरियम।
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way.
भाईमान को सब पता होता है।
A hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
ओके
हाँ ब्रो ऐसे जमीन पे तो पड़ा होगा हिडन मैकेनिज्म।
मैं देख रहा था ये क्या गोला है। आजा
चलो बॉयज मैं जा रहा हूँ सोने। गुड नाइट।
चब्बा खैर
ला ला यू मोहम्मद अल्लाह ला दिन।
आंटी ने सुन लिया ना बजा देगी थी तो।
चलो बाय गुड नाइट।
ओ भाई दुर्बाल स्टिल हियर। ओ भाई स्ट्रीम भी नहीं देखता।
लेफ्ट में देख रहा हूँ साले। स्टार्ट दबाया अभी हरामजादे। लेफ्ट में चल रही है स्ट्रीम।
दबाया भाई वो बंदा रोज आने से पहले क्या ये सब करके जाता है?
भाई मैं सोच रहा था तो मैं कर रहा था ये।
भाई तू सोच तू अपनी रिसर्च फैसिलिटी में आ रहा है गीला।
अब एक्चुअली नहीं तू सोच रिसर्च फैसिलिटी जरूरी थोड़ी ना वो रोज आता होगा क्योंकि उसने तो वो कर लिया है ना प्रोडक्शन के लिए चालू।
हाँ तो शायद नहीं पर है तो प्रोडक्शन फैसिलिटी ना ये रिसर्च के लिए।
उसके लिए सीक्रेट रास्ता होगा ना उसके पास।
वही मतलब जैसा अपन बेस बनाते हैं पर अपन बेस के मेन एंट्रेंस से कभी घुसते ही नहीं है।
मतलब ऐसा समझ ले कि उसका मान ले की कार्ड है कोई जो एक रास्ता खोल देता है सीधा उधर।
हाँ समझ गया। देख ये डब्बे कितने अच्छे लग रहे हैं, छोटे छोटे बड़े 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 छोटे सारे डब्बे।
Time to go.
वाह यहाँ कुछ था।
विश कर दे।
विश कर दो, यहाँ कुछ था बोल रहा हूँ।
स्ट्रीम पे भाई।
अच्छा कुछ बढ़ने देना, कि स्टोरी में इंटरेस्ट आ रहा है मुझे अभी।
मेरे को रैंडमली याद आता है विश करने का।
वाह तो मस्त तैरता है भाई। ये तो तूने बोला
कंटेंट के
ही है।
लोग डाइव भी मार सकते हैं अच्छे से।
तो विश
प्रॉपर डाइव।
आजा मोहित्रिक स्ट्रीम पे।
स्ट्रीम पे ही है वो।
देख ही रहा हूँ।
रुक जा, इसमें डिटेल्स पे क्यों दबाया मैंने? क्या आता है इसमें? 5 आता है ना। 7 35 हुए, 35 ही हुए हैं भाई खाली अभी तक। होली शिट
36 पे निकलेगी देख।
ये ले
जोर की आई मेरी भी इस बार बोलूंगा मेरी भी हुई भाई।
मैंने कहा भाई स्ट्रीमर लग तो कुछ अलग चीज है।
क्या आई क्या 5
नहीं नहीं पर्पल आया था, डर गए पर हम दोनों।
शिट यार।
अब आएगा देख।
ये ले
10
गोल्डन
वाली कर बे, 10 वाली कर बे। पर्पल आया ना।
नो स्ट्रीमर लक फॉर यू। हाँ पर्पल कलर की किताब मिल गई उसको।
नहीं नहीं वो तो मैं भी देख रहा हूँ, अभी एक और तलवार भी मिली। मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि यार 10 वाली करेगा ना, मिल जाएगी एक।
दिन बाकी है, 13 दिन बाकी है। 10 वाली हो तो सकती है देख।
भाई 4-5 दिन में रीसेट भी हो जाएगा वो।
बिस
शॉप शॉप शॉप।
भाई तू ये क्या क्या बनाया है यार इन लोगों ने? होली शिट डायल के बीच में कहाँ से है?
वही तो
डायल घूम रहा है।
अच्छा
यार क्लोरीन 5 स्टार कैरेक्टर सोर्ड है ना?
मोस्ट प्रोबेबली स्वॉर्ड ही है वो।
अरे लीव डोमेन क्यों आ रहा है? मेरे को उसकी पर्सनैलिटी बहुत अच्छी लगी। शिट मैन वो चाहिए थी मेरे को।
अभी द नेव भी आएगी। नेव वन ऑफ द हार्बिंजर्स। यस मैं वर्ड नहीं ढूंढ पा रहा था। हार्बिंजर्स
चल लग रहा है
उसकी
भाई सुमेरु से
पर्सनालिटी भी
कुछ
अच्छी है।
अच्छा है।
मैं सुमेरु तो मुझे बहुत गंदा लगा।
सुमेरु के डोमेन्स का मेरे को दिक्कत था, वो इतने अजीब से बड़े बड़े थे ना, कुछ समझ नहीं आता था उसमें।
मुझे सुमेरु की ऑलमोस्ट हर चीज से ही दिक्कत है। बस उसका एक वो जो पेड़ वाले है ना, वारा नारा वाला एरिया, वो अच्छा है।
ओह ओह होली शिट। इनके साइड से धुआं क्यों निकल रहा है? और उसके पास तो गन है। उसके पास तो शील्ड भी है। अरे
डेढ़ डेढ़ काजुआ।
We finally made it to the innermost sink, though, as expected. The mastermind isn't here. That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back to the opera house and help
नाभिया।
What's all this? It's a bunch of really cute things. Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled with different girls' names? Huh? You mean the girls from the serial
काला जादू.
disappearances? They were turned into
मेरे को
water.
बुलाया.
And all the boxes of things. These names.
हाँ, लोगों को पानी में चेंज किया
बैठा रख.
और उसमें डाल दिया डब्बे में.
नहीं
जेल
नहीं
में.
नहीं.
नहीं,
उनका
पानी
नाम
में चेंज
पता
कर
पहले
सामान.
नहीं, नाम पता करता था उनका. उनका से एक सामान उठाता था उनसे रिलेटेड. बस उस सामान पे काला जादू करके उसको पानी में कन्वर्ट कर देता था दूर से.
पानी की ड्रिंक बना लेता था.
और क्या.
मेरे को फैंटा पिलाई ना उसने.
Looks like some kind of place for experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23,
बस बस भाई बस आराम से.
बाय बाय. अरे रे ले मुझे तेरे पायमोन को रोता हुआ देख ले.
पायमोन को वो चश्मा मिल जाए भाई, मजा आ जाएगा इसके लिए.
It's just that Paimon's never read something so scary before. How can
The
someone write
experiment was a
something that
failure.
terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did all of these experiments. Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. Ah, you mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either! If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water? In any case, Paimon will write it all down.
Bye. The mystery thickens.
Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea.
इससे ज़्यादा पानी की बोतल तो मेरे घर के पास वाली दुकान में होती है.
Ready to drink? Stock sample? Huh. They've also got all the synth pretty clearly labeled. Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's...
पी सकता हूँ क्या मैं इसको गेम में? प्लीज कह दे. कहीं तो नशे में.
नहीं किया हूँ खुद.
बोलता हूँ. अच्छा नहीं, अपन ने बॉटल तो ली ही नहीं है ना. सैड. नहीं, कहाँ दिखता है? इसके अंदर दिखता है ना ब्रो. एंड हियर.
Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all the synth. And that if you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure stuff can dissolve a human.
ऊपर क्यों जा रहा है प्राइमोर्डियल सी का वाटर?
Incriminating evidence. Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Paimon's eyes. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him. Yep, this should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact the old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. They're all just so evil. We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were... Yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals... No wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit. Sure thing. Paimon will... You take that side, and Paimon will take this side. Check everything... Ugh. Nothing at all. And Paimon
वाह
can't even
स्नैक
find snacks either.
स्नैक हर जगह
Whoa, really? Let Paimon see. Vinier. Isn't that Vache's lover's? Then you found her diary. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet too.
कहाँ आ गया बैक घर पे आ गया क्या तू Damn.
So many! A whole page's worth! The final name she decided on was... Marcel. Wait, but... Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Vinier's grown son? Hey! Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
डैम घर पे नहीं आएगा क्या अच्छा तो नाइट से चलो ओके बाय
And whose image do you see? Mark, is it a man named Vash? Oh.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the...
I was waiting for you.
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner. I just...
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of the...
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence...
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vache.
ओ बाय ट्रैवलर बोला
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything. After your lover, Vinier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you. You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vache.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely... And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing. Well, Marcel, do you know you fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for...
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself.
Do you really think I wanted to pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the they said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vinier's death was brushed. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. Oh, you only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice. Your Vinier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she go, but I'm not from this blasted place. so I can't be dissolved. No matter what I do.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go, I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to... I did all of that. And in the end, that accursed Callus
क्यों रो
still
रहे हैं
got the
अंकल
better of
अंकल
me.
मार्शल
I spent my entire life
ऐड हो गया
living on
अंकल.
pins and needles.
दारू भी पी
To
रहा
get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the
वो
very
एक्चुअली दारू ही है.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me.
बच्चों के गेम में
Don't
दारू
anybody come near me. I still need to save
जेंशिन वालों के
Vinyera.
अगेंस्ट लॉसूट आ
I
रहा है
promise. Vinyera, please, Vinyera. Don't think.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against...
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show...
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that... The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vinyera. During an underwater expedition, Vinyera accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore
अच्छा
Vinyera
इसलिए
back
औरतों
to
को
cover
उठाता
his
था वो.
tracks. He invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict. After exchanging blows with Spina de Rasula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the... And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher.
Good. It's what?
With that, the serial...
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit?
Yippee! We have Navia bring the... He's hurt so many innocent people and now he... Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely...
The day
Terrible
our late
plot
boss
twist
had always
begins.
hoped for has finally come. You can rest easy now, knowing
नाविया पानी
justice...
बन जाएगी.
क्यों भाई?
It's finally over.
इसमें इतना बड़ा प्लॉट ट्विस्ट भी नहीं.
फिर मेरा जिसके पास कैरेक्टर था वो चला जाएगा.
And my...
जैसे वो नहीं था, डब्बा खोला और अकाउंट बैन. अगर स्टोरी खेली तो कैरेक्टर गॉन.
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama?
नाविया
The
मर
villain
गई
has been
तो
caught,
तेरा कैरेक्टर भी
justice
चला
has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy... Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to.
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this has anything to...
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine.
By knows he's the
This has
side character.
always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle.
फोर्थ वॉल
All I
ब्रेक
need to
कर
do
रहा
is stand
है.
over there, right? Let's just get...
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse
अब
Cardinale.
इसको गिल्टी करेगा कि क्या वो है तेरा
According to the judgment of the Oratrice guilty.
Hey, hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent?
एक मिनट पर यही तो मतलब अच्छा है, ये ऐसा भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो रहा है क्योंकि उसने बोला था ना कि न्यूवेलेट जो बोलता है वही मोस्टली मशीन भी बोलती है, और आज पहली बार उल्टा हुआ है
अभी
क्योंकि
तेरे
न्यूवेलेट ने
को
बोला
देख, वो बताते तो नहीं है डायरेक्टली कि क्यों इसको गिल्टी माना गया है, बट तेरे को स्टोरी पूरी करके समझ आ जाएगा क्यों.
नहीं पर हाँ समझ गया मैं प्लॉट, क्योंकि न्यूवेलेट भी उल्टा हो गया ना एकदम अभी इधर.
What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before.
ये देख किसने
Oratrice
बोल दिया.
actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case.
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. Guards, please take the suspect into...
Oh, action time.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
डिल्यूजन क्यों चला रहा है पर नॉर्मल उसमें भी जीत सकता ही था ये नहीं इन लोगों से तो. ओ भाई पावर अप.
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
इतना कोई अच्छा कटसीन नहीं था ये.
चाइल्ड के तो बुड़का भर दिया को.
वही.
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, all I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it!
कैसे बोल रही है?
I don't know what happened there either. Hey, stop staring at me!
चिल्ला क्यों रही है ये?
Karina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called just...
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court?
अब मेरे को एक वो दिख रहा है व्यू पॉइंट.
Tell me, you thought...
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock and bafflement, was a part of an elaborate performance. Of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond or all shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my noble intentions, as well as the absolute... Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is...
So she chose to make her escape out.
So you're saying shouldn't put my...
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, however, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost.
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So he should have known he'd go to...
Tragedy repeats itself. वो देख ऊपर कैसे चढ़ूं मैं?
देख एल बीडर का वो लगा इस पे काजुआ का ई करके चढ़ जाइए उस पे।
नहीं, हाइट ज़्यादा है उसकी।
ना एल बीडर को ऊपर भी तोड़ता है चिकने।
इधर ही लगाना पड़ेगा।
उसके जस्ट नीचे। जस्ट मिस।
पकड़ेगा नहीं वो वहाँ से।
वही ना जस्ट मिस, वही तो कह रहा हूँ।
आई थिंक उस कोने से चढ़ सकते हैं। अनलेस इन्होंने कोर्ट की दीवार ऐसी बना रखी हो जिसको नहीं चढ़ सकते हो। हाँ
चढ़ तो नहीं सकेगा तो और सी बात है वो। यहाँ पे वो सेम चीज ट्राई कर कोने में।
थोड़ा और आगे लेता हूँ।
एकदम एज पे नहीं करना।
वहाँ से वो उठेगा नहीं शायद। उठ गया। अरे यार ये क्या गेम है भाई?
और एज पे लेके जा।
हो गया। क्या? अरे इसका नाम ही वही है। कार्डिनल लग रहा है पर व्यू तो अच्छा है भाई। वहाँ से ऐसा नहीं लग रहा डॉक्टर स्ट्रेंज का घर है वो ऊपर का पार्ट।
एक्चुअली हाँ।
अच्छा अभी अपन इसको बताएंगे क्या?
What are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list.
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of that name.
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really?
I met her.
You're
I met
sure?
her.
You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make...
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what...
This request, is it worth as much to you as your...
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my...
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual need? Very well.
Your Honor.
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any...
In that case, I shall leave him in your most capable hands, Chief Justice.
Thank you.
Your Honor. और भाई मैं बोला ना बिना मुंह का ये पर है इसका।
भाई इतना बड़ा एनपीसी कि उसका नाम भी नहीं है।
नहीं यार।
कभी कभार मैं खुद हैरान हो जाता हूँ अपनी बातों से।
अच्छा था वो, इट गुड।
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot of it on this?
Vache.
Ah,
Yes, that's it. So you.
Vinier, it's me! It's me!
Vache?
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you, Vinier?
Hey, wait!
चला गया भाई भी, चला गया
Is
दूसरी
that
दुनिया
you?
में।
It's me, Vache! Vinier!
Vache? Why did you... You look a lot older than I remember.
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years since the day you... All this time, only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could...
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably
अरे
become
अरे
a top-tier attorney one
अरे
day.
अरे
If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache.
You... Wait, you are not Vinier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vinier. I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm AZ.
लेमोनी।
The only one I am not is Vinier.
Why? But then, where is Vinier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became? You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist. The only thing you are not is Vinier. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vinier's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
No! Vinier! She can't hate me.
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vinier. She really doesn't want to see you, but on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
ओ बाय।
Vache. Vache? Vache. Vache.
गैंग बैंग।
Vache.
रिवर्स।
रिवर्स।
भाई ओसनेड क्या है?
Oceanid, brother.
ओसनेड
It is the highest form of
क्या
consciousness.
क्या दिखा रहे हैं ये लोग? लड़की को क्या
भाव आ रहे हैं, माता आ रही थी लड़की में।
ये
ए
क्या
भाई, मेरे
बना
धर्म के बारे में फालतू कैसे पता?
वो भी स्ट्रीम पे।
वही।
Shit, वो गार्दियस दिख रहा है। देख एक और, नहीं इधर नहीं है।
Finally, we have some time to
Actually,
do
ये बहुत अच्छा
shopping.
सीन है।
Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Huh.
Well met, partner.
अरे ना भैया
I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon's already started to miss you.
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't treasure having a
Bacon.
partner?
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia. What have you been busy with since the tribe?
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back this time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court all attend.
So his name's definitely been cleared now. That's what we like to hear.
It's been the dearest wish of
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. I'm so glad I didn't give up on the Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte? Journalist from the Steambird?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an... I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness. Secret Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now her wish has finally come true.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound real.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust you.
Oh, and in other news, I also took Clarand out for a meal.
Oh, are you two on better terms now?
God date.
While you were investigating Vashay's headquarters, Clarand gave testimony on my father's behalf. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in being awkward all the time. So we took the chance to reconcile
ऐसा
with each other.
क्लोरेंट को जीवन भर गिल्ट ट्रिप करते रहना चाहिए था
I also thought Clarand wasn't actually a bad
कि तूने मेरे बाप को मारा
Good to have more friends.
Anyway,
गिल्ट में
now
ही
that
मर
the case
जाती
has
वो
finally
एक
been
टाइम
solved,
आता
perhaps it
अरे
will
वो ना
slowly
मरती
begin
वो
to
इसको
fade
चमका
from the
देती
public consciousness.
वो चमका भी तो नहीं सकती ना
Actually,
वही तो बात थी
there's
अरे
still
उसमें
one last thing I need to do.
उसमें वही तो फन फैक्टर था कि
Actually, अब जो तुम्हें ध्यान दे रहा हो तो यस चमका नहीं सकते थे
नाविया उसको कितना ही गिल्ट ट्रिप करती जाती अरे यार
What is it?
हिटमैन मजा तो आता देखने
I
में
should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth of what happened, as well as how it all ended. And on top of that, just how much people still look
इसके
up
बाद
to him
नेक्स्ट वाली
to
करेगा कि
this
सुना
day.
जाएगा
उन्हें कहूँगा इसके बाद
Includes me.
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We want to go too.
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the moment with me. After all, without you, there might not have...
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Consider...
Yeah, you're right. It's been...
भाई गेंशिन वाले अपने आप टीपी कराते हैं भाई जेन्युइन
This is where my
बेसी बात
father's
पे मैं
grave is.
चलता हूँ गुड नाइट
तू कहाँ जा रहा है ब्रो
There's someone there
गुड
already.
नाइट भाई गुड नाइट
तेरे को बहुत जल्दी है मेरे को भेजने की
Why would the Chief
क्या
Justice be here?
तेरे को बहुत जल्दी है मेरे को भेजने की
ना बोलो
देख
मत जा भाई मत जा
देख ले भाई देख लिया
My
यही
मत
apologies.
जा भाई मत जा
I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
ओह
Oh,
अभी समझा तू
I
अकेले
was
में बैठ
trying
के
to
उसको
say
काला
there's
जादू
no need
सिखाएगा
for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize.
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette. In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over. There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, It's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could, which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own. But Mr. Callus proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained. Mr. Callus made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people completely unrelated to him. And in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all for the sake of justice. A justice that's higher than life itself. So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callus in person. I should have noticed all of this much sooner. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the opera Epicles indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh? That reminds me of Silver.
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strongs.
Didn't I just say you don't need to apologize?
So Navia and Neuvillette seem to have made their... Let's not disturb them for now. We can... Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. But Paimon doesn't know what she would do if she can't fly. Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad. Anyway, Neuvillette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we go...
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite?
We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we just followed her here.
I see. Then is there something that I can help you with?
Well, it's pretty hard to run into you like this, since you're usually super busy. So we figured we could try to ask you a few questions.
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor. That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good. Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right! It was Linny that told us back then. And that about...
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed away.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon?
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels, and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be... Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information and intelligence from across Tevat for... If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is, can we really trust her to solve it?
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me? My apologies. However, I still believe the judgment...
But you also said you thought...
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits. Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this for a long...
So when Linny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items to investigate. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though, with her time-tested... While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Merip. If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the full...
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to... Your sibling, another blonde-haired traveler. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter and had no reason to appear on the... Is there anything else?
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as water from the primordial...
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say...
Huh. So it really was where everything began. It makes sense to call it primordial then.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette. But if it...
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture... To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its... Is there anything else you'd like to... Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoy... It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the clock as well. This is merely the nature of a justice...
All right. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped. You know, we've been walking around for a while now. Why don't we go back to the Spina di Rosula base in the court of Fontaine and have a rest? Now you said something about having a place ready for us there, didn't she? Come on, let's go!
Now that's what I call treasure.
और भाई धुरबाल इधर है धुरबाल मुद्रिक हेलो मुद्रिक नहीं नहीं ओके
इधर ही हूँ क्या?
चल कोई ना
क्या कोई ना?
एक और चीज
कुछ नहीं भाई, सेंस ट्राई कर रहा है, कम कर रहा हूँ।
बाय
सेंस बताइए अपनी
0.036
0.036 DPI।
लेट मी चेक ने चेंज करी थी DPI भी क्योंकि भाई चालू ही नहीं हो रहा ये
0.036 तो बहुत कम है।
हाँ तो मैंने कम कर दिया था ना अब मेरा
तो DPI भी तो बढ़ा दी होगी तूने बहुत।
नहीं नहीं बढ़ाई थी DPI भी कम करी थी
कितनी?
DPI भी कम करी थी रुक जा खुल ही नहीं रहा भाई लॉजिटेक जी हब 8,500
8,500 हराम जादे बढ़ाई इतनी ज़्यादा
हाँ बढ़ाई है
ट्रिप है भाई ट्रिप है पैसा
Yo Luffy hello yeah still streaming how was your Christmas
Follow the wind.
अरे हाँ, कहाँ जा रहा है ये ऊपर अरे यार was good
8,500 पे 0.036 कैलकुलेट करनी पड़ेगी
कहाँ जा रहा है ओ हिट अरे क्या
Never again.
it what review
This world holds many a rare treasure.
with the new character
Time to go.
तो चैट में कोई आया है क्या
हाँ
बंद करिए वही यूएस
yes मेरे हिसाब से तो वही है you're talking about Navia I think she's pretty good very good actually
जेट गई इसे ये आ जाओ
and also yes I pulled Navia Taylor Swift yes I do feel like she does resemble her I have no actual ideas of your build
Time to go.
in
नहीं
in any
यार
case building characters is not really my thing if you do look at my character not the best okay. all of them for example my Ayaka has crit damage no crit
Blade
rate
embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes.
I just usually take characters who I find fun and build them somewhat I can actually look up your character if you want to yeah actually I use her with like a 2 cryo party and this artifact set so she does get a 20% more crit rate does work out well yes send me your UID The only showcase is Navia. Aww. Ultimate Overlord's Mega Match. You gave her energy recharge. Okay. But where did you get the sword from? This is a really good sword. I mean, just the looks.
स्वॉर्ड क्या कुकी मॉन्स्टर जैसी स्वॉर्ड है?
हाँ ये देखना, देख क्या मस्त
अच्छी
लग
लग
रही
रही
है, स्टिकर लगे
अच्छी
हुए हैं
लग
इस
रही
पे.
है.
Goblet. The damage bonus. Hmm. What? 24%. Oh, okay. So is there what World Quest? I think yes. Get this. Give her 2 piece per million and night damage. How much attack does 10 to 1000? Hmm. So what's the usual? Oh, it's on the new event. Okay, I didn't do the event yet. What's the usual crit? I mean, like, how much does she hit for? Because from most what I heard was they use this. But no, is this the one? Yeah, they use this artifact for like the 4 piece of this. Like, this bonus geo damage. And 30k without buff is actually very good. And you can still go 2 more points on a re. Hmm. This is actually very good. But I mean, Elemental Mastery doesn't do much for Navi, I think. 44 EM is a bit wasted. Crit rate. This is actually a good artifact. Yeah, such good artifacts. What does she get when you ascend her? I did ascend her. Mm, mm, oh, she gives crit damage. Okay.
Oh, oh, I created.
Like that sword is good, but I still think this. No, no, no. This looks very good. Just want this. I'm trying. So let's hope I do get this. I have 2 wishes. Should I wish one right now or two? Both of them. What do you say? Yeah, I know. I'm not. I do get that there can be
Yeah.
replacements for it, but
उसने अपना नंबर दिया? नहीं,
looks
never mind.
so good. Like the axe thingy. Ah, okay. I'm going for the weapon solely based on its looks actually. So even if I do end up getting the mid splitter, I'll still be happy and give it to Ayaka. This is also decent Claymore, I
सब
think.
इधर को
I know, right? The axe on a girl well dressed like that looks very good. This is attack. I think this. But I think the luxurious sea lord is the best for any of these kinds of things. Season damage. Ah, yes, I did hear Zhongli and Albedo were good for Navia. See the difference between your artifacts and mine. See, look at this HP. He's getting 1,000 HP just from this artifact. See, again, look at this. The defense is okay, equally good for Albedo, so I'll ignore that. Again, Navia Albedo, Purina. I don't have Purina. I can use jungling. So 2 pyro for the increase in attack, I think. What does 2 Geo give? Oh, okay. Okay. 5% attack is actually. Wait, from what I heard, Purina is actually a better Bennett. Is that true though?
Follow the wind. A fateful offering.
ले मोहित, तेरी बात मान के मैं अब 10 विश करूंगा एक साथ.
Okay. Waiting for that moment, baby doll.
Oh. Oh, okay. That's handy. I don't have Purina. I do like her aesthetic. If there is a reason, I will try. No guarantee. So Charlotte is playable. Purina can heal buff to the damage. Okay. Wait, who's she? There was actually a time when I did collect all the sword characters, like till Inazuma, if I'm not wrong. Then I stopped playing.
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Welcome to the Adventurers Guild. Thank you for completing today's commissions. Here is your reward.
क्या करना था मेरे को?
The sight of shiny jewels always
Wait, what? Okay.
Time to go.
आज के लिए बंद करते हैं. नाइट.
गुड नाइट सिटी.
प्रेम को बोल रहा था.
Home time now.
तो क्षितिज के साथ खेल. क्या करना है तुम्हें? कम कर दो ना बहुत ज़्यादा। ले पहले जो थी ना हैंड पट जाएगी उसमें तेरी। बस मैं तो और कम करने जा रहा हूँ। बात तो वही है, हम तो वही रहा है।